Welcome back to the Upgraded Leader Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Case, and today we're talking about why your boss keeps telling you to just keep doing what you're doing. So we're going to decipher this for you today because I know that you have set up the meeting, you've talked to your boss, and you've said, I want to be promoted. And they tell you, yeah, you're doing a great job and you should keep doing what you're doing. And so you do for another 6 months, then another year. And somehow you are still in the exact same role. And I even bet that you've just dialed it up by 100, right? I bet you just doubled down and worked even harder. How's that working out for you? So I know this answer can feel really reassuring at first, right? Your boss likes your work, they see your value, and you leave that conversation thinking that you're on track. But the reality is there is no timeline, no criteria, no commitment for this promotion or a next step that they or you need to take. So, what does this actually mean? What does it mean when your boss tells you, keep doing what you're doing? Well, there's a couple of reasons why this could be happening. So, let's decipher this now. One, your boss just might not have seriously considered your promotion, even though you have talked to them. They might not have just really thought about it. They're like, yeah, that sounds great. And moving on, right? So we need to understand, is your boss just dismissing you because there's other things going on and they just don't have the space to even think about it? That could be what is happening here, where they say, just keep doing what you're doing. Secondly, they might not know what the decision makers who would actually approve this promotion need to see, because the truth is, when you are going after that director level, senior director level, or VP level promotion, this is not just an inline promotion. There are other people that are involved in this decision, right? It's not just your boss anymore. So they just might not know what those things are that these other decision makers need to see. And so they're just kind of buying themselves time. The third reason why they might just keep telling you to keep doing what you're doing is that they truly do value your work and what you're doing here at the company, but they don't have a role for you or the budget or the organizational support for this next level. Like I said, this is not an inline promotion like many others that you might have gotten earlier in your career. A promotion like this at these levels, this requires, a much bigger scope, a lot more responsibilities. The budget's got to be there. Again, the business need must be there. And if they're not seeing it quite yet, or they've got some things in motion in order to get it there, they might just, again, be buying themselves time by telling you, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, because they're trying to figure it out on their end. Fourth, they could be just avoiding having a harder conversation with you. So this could be related to some of the other things that we've already talked about, right? Again, they don't have the role, the budget, they don't know what is even needed in order to get to this next level. And so they're just kind of avoiding being honest with you about that. It could also be that you're truly not ready. It's probably not. I'm pretty sure you're ready, but it's possible that, again, they're not seeing it, or there's feedback that they need to share with you, and they're just avoiding doing that, which isn't great. And then finally, they may think that you are so strong at your current level, but so much so that they haven't yet been able to picture you at that next level. They see you just working so hard and being so effective at the level that you're at, doing the work that you're doing today, that they can't see how you would pick your head up and influence at that next level, how you would make decisions at that next level. They just haven't seen it yet because you haven't demonstrated it, probably because you are too busy being so good at the current level you're at, which leads me into what I like to call the promotion paradox. The more excellent work at your current level may be the reason why you are still stuck at this level, because you hear, keep doing what you're doing. So what you do is, yep, I'm going to double down. I'm going to work even harder, versus realizing what it takes to be successful at that next level and start operating there, so that, again, people can picture you and see you at that next level. Because the ideal state is that whenever these leaders, these decision makers are sitting around the table talking about who's getting the promotion next year, that when it comes up that, oh, such and such, let's talk about them for their promotion. And they say, oh, wait, they're not already promoted. Oh yeah, that's a no brainer. That's the ideal state that happens, that everybody around the table already thought you were at that level. And so it's just a no brainer to go ahead and elevate you because you have already demonstrated that you will be successful at that level. So no amount of effort can solve that lack of clarity. You continuing to just double down and work really hard at your current level. If that was really the case, if working harder got you the promotion, you'd already have it, right? Because we know that you're already working so hard at the great work that you've already been doing. So, a better question to ask whenever you're talking to your boss is, what specifically would you need to be true in order for you to recommend me for a promotion? Or another way of saying this is, who else would need to be involved to support that decision? So, again, this is how you're digging into figuring out, like, hey, is it just my boss? Is it my boss's boss? Are there some other cross functional leaders that would need to be influenced to support that decision? You need to get that intel. And then another question you could ask is, what would prevent this from happening in the next 6 months? So, and that doesn't even mean you completely shitting the bed, right? It's like, does there need to be a certain round of funding that needs to come through? Does this deal need to come through in the next 6 months? There's maybe some other business things that are going on in the business that would need to be true, or could prevent you from getting this particular promotion. Because once again, at this level, these types of promotions hinge on, again, the business need, what's happening in the market, all those things. So it might not always be specifically about you and your performance, but it's helpful to understand those things, right? So that you aren't, completely spiraling over, brunch with your girlfriends. So the next time you have this conversation with your boss and they just tell you, keep doing what you're doing, or you have this conversation about a promotion, I want you to reflect when you walk away from that conversation to say, what did your boss actually commit to? And what did you assume that they meant? Because so often when I talk to my private clients and they went and they've had this conversation with their boss, what their boss said and what they actually assumed it to mean sometimes is not the same thing. And that then delays that promotion another 6 or 12 months. So if you are ready to stop decoding vague feedback by yourself, and you're ready to get yourself positioned for that director, senior director, or VP level promotion in the next 6 to 12 months, applications are open for the Upgraded Leader Accelerator. And this is where we are going to help you understand what's standing between you and that next level, change what needs to change, upgrade what needs to upgrade, and then get you positioned to make that case for a real decision. So if you are interested in this, head on over to thenicolecase.com/accelerator to either book your fit call or apply. Thanks for listening today. I will see you in the next episode. And remember, in the meantime, your career deserves an upgrade.